Through the generous contribution of Dr. Lewis's family, we're very fortunate to be able to share with you these timeless recordings of Dr. M. W. Lewis, a self-realized American yogi. Dr. Lewis was Paramahansa Yogananda's first American disciple and dearest personal friend. The wisdom Dr. Lewis imparts through these teachings will give you a dynamic and practical insight into the ancient science of yoga as taught by Paramahansa Yogananda. This lecture's title is Christianizing Business and was delivered in San Diego, California on June 6, 1954.
Christianizing business is the subject this morning. Christianizing business. The way to Christianize business is to fit it in with God's plan. God's plan, His drama of life, takes place here. Business is a part of God's drama of life. Therefore, if we know His drama of life, if we know God's plan and fit our business into the plan, it will be Christianized because it will be what God wants. This brings up the question, what is God's plan, of course? God's plan, as I have often expressed to you, is this, that He created this drama of life for our enjoyment. In other words, He created it for Himself. We are a part of God's great consciousness, therefore we should view and participate in the drama of life considering it a play, enjoying it, but not being attached to it. Because our real nature is immortal, blissful, permanent, eternal. But we allow that blissful, eternal nature to be attached to the play. In this case, business, which is not right. God's plan is perfect. If we do that in any part of the drama of life we are playing, we will find peace and joy. Because even on this earth, we can express and know our immortal nature, but even if that is not so, we surely, when we're through here, will once more return to our immortal self. Now, of course, evil's plan is different. Satanic plan is different. It's an organized force which prevents us from realizing God's plan by causing us to be attached to the play. In this case, attached to business. If we are attached to business, losing sight of our immortal, blissful nature, then the evil force says, now, you make lots of money in your business, you attain lots of power in your business, how wonderful you will feel. And so we are tempted to fall for that suggestion of the satanic evil force, and when we fall, then we set into motion a series of events set about by desire. And the result is that the desires are never fulfilled, and we go from one desire to another unending. This is brought about because the satanic force suggests that we will not have to go back to God beyond this worldly consciousness, but right now, here, we can have everything because the power which money will give us. That's the suggestion given by the satanic evil force, and when we fall for it, we set in motion a chain of desires which are never consummated, never fulfilled. There's no end to it, and as you and I know, there is no peace in it. We see it right and left, we know it is so. But, on the other hand, if we follow God's plan and to fit our business into His plan, then we will Christianize it, then the result will be right. How many people say, oh, that's impossible. That's impossible to use Christian principles in business. Well, I'll admit it seems so, especially in modern times. Yet we must never forget that the power of God is supreme, and that if we wholly rely on Him with full faith and take His consciousness as the Christ consciousness into our business, we will Christianize it without question of a doubt. It can be done, and many businessmen do that, even right here on this in this terrible delusion in which we find ourselves. It can be done because God's power, remember, is supreme. If it's supreme in one thing, it is supreme in business. If we do not lose faith in Him and do not leave His side. So the main thing in Christianizing business is to remember, fit your business into God's plan. If you do that, if you have that attitude, you won't have to worry about the business being Christianized, as I shall try to point out. One other thing to remember is this. According to the conventional conception of success and failure, we have to